Hello folks, Anahita Rao, here to speak about the month of May. And as usual, if you prefer to read about the overall trends this month, please see my website for more details. Yeah. So let's get into this. Alright, so what is happening in May? Well, May will start to show the effects of the big shifts that we have just experienced. So if you haven't seen any changes in your life yet, then they may be coming along this month. Especially at the end of April, because right now we're approaching that solar eclipse, which also coincides with a once in a 12-year conjunction of Jupiter and Venus in Pisces. So after that eclipse moment on April the 30th, it's actually a very auspicious time to start something new, to envision a bright new future, to set positive intentions, especially with respect to where Aries or Pisces fall in your chart. Now, Jupiter and Venus conjoining at this eclipse is a very good omen for new beginnings, especially being that it's in Pisces. Basically, it's two positive forces coming together. It could, however, bring a clash between idealism, which is what Jupiter signifies, and being more pragmatic, which is what Venus signifies. But this conjunction will bring clarity. It will bring happiness. It will bring peace, especially where Pisces falls. And it's actually very, very good for water signs. All water signs can benefit from this energy. Fantastic time for new undertakings, new beginnings. And the eclipse moment also marks the movement of a powerful Saturn transit, which is happening just hours before the eclipse, suggesting that we will have the resources to fulfill our goals and to make our dreams come true. I think the month of May will be a slightly easier flow compared to April, especially the second half. Yeah. So now, the first event of the month is that Mercury going retrograde in Taurus on May the 10th. As usual, this means reviewing and revising. And for this, look for what Mercury's lordships are in your chart. That's where you get impacted. And also check to see where Taurus falls, to see what areas in your life you may be reflecting on at this time. You also may have a change of plans in these areas. If you're traveling or if you're signing documents at this time, check and double check the details. Now, being that Mercury's Lord Venus is exalted at the moment, and it's 11th from Mercury, reassessing finances could actually bring some good news at this time. Mercury is going to stay retrograde until June the 3rd. Now, we've had an ongoing conjunction with Sun and Rahu at this time, and on May the 12th, Sun-Rahu conjunction will become exact. It's kind of a sort of a prelude to the coming eclipse. Now, whenever Rahu comes close to a planet, it tends to exaggerate the qualities of that planet. And what is Sun? Sun is it's your life path. It's your identity. It's your purpose. So it's a good time actually to question whether you are on the right path in your life. And if not, it's also a very good time to make some changes that can be long-lasting and that can allow you to align yourself with that life path, with that life purpose much better. Rahu with Sun can often increase one's energy and drive, but it can also bring some self-deception and an overinflated sense of confidence. And being that this is in Aries, it can bring some ego clashes. And you may feel overconfident in the areas that are ruled by the sun in your chart. So Leos, for example. And of course represented by Aries also, because that's where this conjunction is taking place, yeah. I would say wait till either wait till Mercury goes direct, or at least wait till the end of May to make important decisions concerning money, concerning your life path, your career, etc. Now, with Saturn's third aspect on Aries now, this can be a time when you can also feel a bit exhausted mentally. So be mindful of stress at this time. It can lead to health issues. So avoid where you can. If you have the Sun-Rahu conjunction in your chart, you will feel the effects more personally. Aries, Leo, and Libra will be most impacted. Then we have the Sun's annual movement into Taurus. From May 15th till June 15th, the Sun will transit Taurus. The second half of the month, the Sun is connecting with an exalted Venus and is free from all malefic aspects, so that's good. So it's a good time to identify effective ways for self-care. It's a good time to make ourselves whole so that we are on our best when we move towards relationships and when we move towards connection with others. Then we have a lunar eclipse taking place in Scorpio on the 16th of May at approximately 5 a.m. UTC in the nakshatra of Vishaka at 1 degree. This eclipse is caused by Ketu, which is around 3 degrees away in Libra. So I've made a separate video on this, and I'll link that below. Now, people have asked how can the eclipse be taking place in Scorpio rather than Libra, where Ketu is positioned at the moment. Yeah. Now remember the signs or the rashis. They're divisions. They're 12 divisions based on the sun's movement, right? Because the sun goes through 12 signs in a year. But whereas the nakshatras are based on the moon's movement. So it does happen rarely that the eclipse will be in a different sign, but it's still in the same nakshatra in Vishaka. Yeah, and that's what we have to pay attention to, the moon's position when it comes to eclipses. Yeah. We have Mercury retrograde aspecting this eclipse from Taurus. We also have Jupiter throwing its 9th aspect to the moon, as well as Saturn throwing its 10th aspect to the moon. Jupiter's aspect is important because Jupiter is also the controlling planet of Vishaka. So being in the 5-9 angle from this moon is actually very auspicious. Neptune at this time is also in exact trine with the moon. So intuition and emotional sensitivity will be unusually high. Both the Jupiter and Venus conjunction in Pisces, as well as this eclipse, is offering us a window of opportunity to visualize what you want out of your life, to see the bigger picture, to send out clearer intentions. So it's a good time to reflect on that. All lunar eclipses, of course, can be emotionally challenging, and here being that it's taking place in Scorpio, the moon will anyway feel a bit insecure and edgy. So you would benefit from doing remedies for the moon, getting enough sleep, listening to soothing music, spending time in nature, drinking lots of water, moving away from social media, spending more time at home. Full moons are always a good time to connect with others, and this may be a good time to spend with close friends and family. It's a final eclipse in Scorpio, and it's going to be much easier energy than the previous ones we experienced since June of 2020. It can also open up new doors depending on what is represented by Scorpio in your chart. What else is happening? On May the 17th, we have Mars moving into Pisces, joining Jupiter and Venus. Mars will stay here until June the 27th, when it moves into its own sign of Aries. Here, Mars is connecting with Jupiter quite closely. Pisces is actually a place that Mars tends to do quite well, and it's a friendly environment. So you can expect some pleasant outcomes now. Again, see where Pisces falls in your chart to understand where you will be impacted. Mars in Pisces also promotes charitable activities. On May the 23rd, Venus moves into Aries, approaching a conjunction with Rahu at this time. From the 22nd till the 24th, Venus passes through what's called the Gandanta zone of Pisces and Aries. It's at the end of water and beginning of fire. So this can point to some unraveling in relationships, either forming a deep attachment or connection, or severing a tie, maybe due to another love interest. In the end of that water zone, we normally have to deal with letting go of toxic attachments. But here we have Venus in its exaltation. And in the beginning of that Gandanta zone, we normally are starting something new in that fire portion, the beginning. We're starting something new, but with a lot of hesitation. And so we can tend to hold back. But now, with Venus being in that beginning of the Gandanta degrees in Aries, it's actually approaching Rahu, right? So the urge to start new relationships is quite strong now. And finally, the month ends with a new moon. At midday on May the 30th, we have a new moon in Rohini at approximately 14 degrees. So again here, we need to see Venus's position and how strong it is, because the ruling planet of Taurus is Venus. Right? And Venus is 12th from this new moon in Aries at the time, approaching Rahu. Again, suggesting new relationships or even affairs. Yeah. There is a Mercury retrograde present in Taurus at this time, suggesting perhaps a return to a previous attachment, or maybe a change of heart in matters connected to relationships. So see where Taurus falls in your chart to understand how you may be impacted. At the time of this new moon, there is an exact conjunction with Mars and Jupiter. Both are in 11th position from this new moon. So again, this can suggest strong desires manifesting at this time, a sort of like a fulfillment of goals also. Taking place in Pisces, being that both Mars and Jupiter will be with Uttarbhadra at this time, can suggest some struggle before the attainment of this goal. And it could be a struggle that you've been going through for some time now. Yeah. But again, this is another eventful month, similar to April. Big planetary shifts are slowly making their impact, forcing us to integrate these changes in our lives. And for some, these dramatic shifts would have been ongoing since early this year. But I think the second half will be easier and flow more smoothly than the first half. So, all the best, folks. Cheers.